And blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up, a major beverage company gets it right about saluting fathers. We'll share that audio with you. And by the way, today is the president's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. President. We'll talk a little bit more about the president as well. A lot going on here today. Before we get to Glenn Beck, love to get your reaction to the news of the day, 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Joining us now, Maria Espinoza from the Remembrance Project. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you doing?
Not bad. Boy, there's a situation that has been ignored for years. You and your husband started this project to remind people about the angel moms, the angel dads. We've got a ton of people coming in, and I don't know whether it's incompetence or complicity when it comes to the border situation. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. We're in a very bad situation, and it seems to get worse by the day. You know, we have the Texas southern border just being overwhelmed, and it has been overwhelmed for several months. You know, we even had Obama's former Secretary of Homeland Security, Jay Johnson, now call it in this situation a national emergency. So you know it's getting very bad and is bad when Obama's administration is coming out for what this president is doing.
Indeed. It seems the more he tries, the more the illegals come in wave after wave.
Exactly. You know, we focus here at the Remembrance Project, the loss of life, and that is horrible. There's permanent separation, such horrific tragedies many times, and all 100% preventable, and no one's talking about the permanent separation of our families. But yet, here, these illegal aliens know that we have a wide open, porous border and laws, these huge loopholes like we're seeing right now, which is the cause and the attraction for these illegal aliens to come over. We're seeing people from the Congo, all these African countries, and, you know, their health is not up to the standards of the United States here. And, you know, they're bringing in diseases that were eradicated decades ago. They're bringing in even Ebola. You have migrants from countries where there is Ebola outbreak. And here in San Antonio, Texas, you know, they received, 350 Congolese and where other country, Angola, just recently, and they were supposed to be shipped up to Portland, Maine, but Maine could not support them and asked San Antonio not to bring them in. So major problems going on, and yet, you know, the Democrats, what do they talk about, Kevin? You know, the Russia issue, hammering on President Trump and not looking to rectify the problems so that we don't have this crisis at the border, and it's spreading all over the country, not just the southern border, and we know that. This is everywhere. Every state is a border state.
Maria Espinoza joining us, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Let's go back to these people coming in with the Ebola and such. Nobody's talking about it.
No, they're glazing over it. You don't see it mentioned in the mainstream media. And, you know, I spoke with a border agent's family member, and they're very concerned because these agents are, you know, up close proximity to these migrants coming over, and they're coming home. They have elderly at home. They have young children at home. So they're concerned for their family members who are most vulnerable to these diseases, and they're all types of diseases, Kevin. So, you know, we can't dismiss and downplay that problem. So, and these individuals are roaming our streets. Look online. There's a video there where they're let off buses and they're escorted to certain churches and locations where they get food, and I'm hoping that they're giving them medical care, but it's impossible because the resources are no longer there. Those simply are exhausted, even with the NGOs, the non-governmental organizations. They're just letting people out into the streets.
That they are. you wonder, why can't somebody wave a magic wand and seal that place off?
Well, that's a good question, and that's what we're trying to find out right now, as a matter of fact. But I think the first and foremost manner in which that we can do something about is simply cut off the welfare benefits, all those social benefits that they're coming over for, the jobs that they're coming over for. And it starts with prosecuting these individuals who aid and abet illegal aliens. And we have that law. It's U.S. Code Title 8, Section 1324. And these employers who willingly break the law, they should be prosecuted, along with the sanctuary city mayors and governors. We have good laws, Kevin. Don't believe for 1 minute all the political theatrics that's going on there in the swamp, because we have good laws. My father came here the right way, as millions of legal immigrants and U.S. citizens now. So we have the laws. There's just people who refuse to abide by them, and people who refuse to stand behind and make sure those laws are enforced.
Now, speaking of San Antonio, Texas, recently you had Julian Castro on, former member of the cabinet under Obama. His brother is a congressman. I'm sure you know the Castro brothers quite well, if not personally, by reputation. Martha McCallum asked him a question, and we're going to listen to his response, and then, Maria, we're going to get your response here on KIDO Talk Radio.
The acting DHS secretary has said that 90% of the people that are apprehended at the border do not qualify for asylum, and 90% of them do not ever show up for their court date once they've been apprehended and released, catch and release. So if it's not a crime to enter the country, is it a crime to not show up for your court date, or at what point is a crime committed in this process, do you believe?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So let's be clear about what we're talking about here. In 1929, the United States passed the Immigration and Nationality Act, and Section 1325 of that basically said that it's a criminal offense to cross the border. However, from 1929 until about 2004, the United States did not enforce somebody crossing the border as a criminal violation. We enforced it basically as a civil violation. And it was after we started enforcing it as a criminal violation that a lot of the problems that we see today, of this huge backlog of people out there in the country that are waiting in limbo, of the separation of little children from their parents, and the detention and incarceration of these families, when that started happening. Right? So I've said there's a better way to do this. I would dispute the statistic from that deputy secretary about how many people actually returned for their court dates. In fact, at the end of the Obama administration, they implemented something called the Family Case Management Program.
All right, Maria Espinoza, I think we've heard enough from that person. Your thoughts, where he waves a magic wand and says, "No, people aren't coming in and stealing. They're just coming in to have a good time. We don't understand what's really happening."
Right. Well, obviously we know that they come forth with these lies, and let's start here though, Kevin. Number one, the fact is that we do not have to allow anyone into our country. That is the baseline. So let's not negotiate how many people and which ones and why not and what age. No, the baseline is we don't have to allow anyone into our country. And number two, crossing into our country illegally should be made a felony. That way, that person who seeks to break our laws has already shown that they care nothing for our laws or our American citizens, and come here. They will have to commit a plethora of offenses, to stealing IDs, to lying on applications, and receiving welfare benefits that should only go to American citizens, not being a charge on society. So if I had that wand, Kevin, I would make illegally crossing into the United States a felony so that we can deport them quickly. And they do not show up for their court dates. And Martha was absolutely correct. And Kevin McAleenan was testifying there before the committee here, and he said that about the over 7,000 court appearance notices that they had given out, only 94 appeared in court. So 90% did not show up for the court, and over 90% of those cases are fraudulent cases. So are we going to be serious about securing our border? Someone like Mr. Castro would certainly not be on my radar as a person who would champion America, champion our families. He talks about little children, but I don't see him ever speaking about the little children who were beaten to death with a bat and macheting to death 2 teenage girls by MS-13 illegal aliens. Where is his compassion for his fellow American? It doesn't exist because he is a far leftist, socialist, communist type that we don't need in any elected office. Unfortunately, he is.
Agreed. Maria, if people want more information on how they can help save America, what can they do?
They can go to our website, theremembranceproject.org, sign up for our email addresses, and of course, please make a donation of any amount. We're, working hard, as you said, Kevin. We do have to save America, and it's by one life at a time. So everyone needs to be a voice for the voiceless.
Maria, you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up next, disgraced, fired former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe says impeachment proceedings against President Trump should begin immediately. Well, here's the funny thing about that, Mr. McCabe. Who's going to be shown the door quicker? The president with another trumped-up charges, or you for getting caught trying to perpetrate a coup? 580-5436, 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And Kevin Miller here for our great friends at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Check them out today if you're looking for a nice, clean, well-ventilated place to practice sports shooting, self-defense, learn about the enhanced concealed carry permit, get that done there. Maybe you're looking for someone to fix a family heirloom or your latest Glock or SIG. They've got a licensed gunsmith right there. Maybe you want to shoot full auto like they do in the movies. Yep, you can shoot full auto at Independence Indoor Shooting. They have the training, the range. They also have Idaho's largest women's-only shooting club. You can learn to shoot with other women, participate in tons of membership perks, and meet with some of the best instructors in the country. By the way, the Independent Woman, that's free at Independence Indoor Shooting. Check them out today. Their number, 208-576-GUNS. That's 208-576-GUNS. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 9. Saturday, 9 to 9, and they're just off Overland, right in Meridian. You can't miss them. Just look for the big flagpole right behind the new Gem Prep Meridian over by Mountain View High School. Independence Indoor Shooting. Please tell them Kevin Miller sent you. And it's a grand old flag joining us now, a grand Tea Party Bob on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. Happy Flag Day and happy birthday, President Trump. Kevin, wouldn't you agree that we are living in a world turned upside down, and much of this is due to the fact that we have a president who's trying to fix this country that has been made dysfunctional for so many years because of the partisan politics and those who don't want change but only want to enrich themselves and get reelected?
You wonder where the priorities are.
Well, I think we wonder more every day where the priorities are. You know, this conversation that the Democrats are having on reparations in Congress is just another Democratic ploy to buy votes from the black community. We have a crisis on the southern border that they don't want to address, but they have time to talk about payback for something that happened 200 years ago. You know, when America was in its infancy, there were many who came over here, were forced to work for low or no wages as indentured servants. However, you know, it was not America that brought the slaves over in the first place. It was the Dutch. You know, we all agree that slavery was a real injustice. But for the Democrats to bring this to the table now is nothing short of ridiculous and politically motivated. You know, I think the Democrats are playing the race card once again, and it's going to backfire on them in 2020. You know, we have a Congress that can't decide whether to fund medical treatment for the first responders for 9/11, that they're going to discuss reparations to slaves. Excuse me, but that dog doesn't hunt. We had our veterans suffering and dying for years, waiting for medical care while Congress slept and did nothing to help them obtain care that this country owed them for their service. It wasn't until President Trump became president that this problem was corrected. You know, does anyone really want to go back 200 years and pay for injustices that took place when we can't even seem to find the funds for those who have given their lives to protect us? Shouldn't our first priority as a nation be to care for those who protect us and our freedoms every day instead of thinking about giving reparations to the ancestors of those who were indentured slaves a couple of hundred years ago? You know, I, for one, am sick and tired of listening to the vitriolic comments constantly being made by the press and the Democrats about President Trump and his administration. The American ship is being turned around slowly but surely while Trump is in office and at the helm. And if he gets another 4 years and the Republican Congress, I think we actually might straighten this country out of ours. So anyway, happy Flag Day to you, my friend.
And happy Flag Day to you.
I hope you have a great day today, Kevin. Thank you again for your great program.
Thank you, Tea Party Bob.
God bless, my friend.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
By 8:25, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, traffic and weather together. Good morning, Dave. And let's go to Frank. Good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kevin. It's me again. We met via the phone at the Miller's Mission, the Turkey Drive. I'm with the Idaho Motorcycle Rodeo Association. We are a nonprofit, 501c3, all volunteer. I wanted to invite you out to our first of 3 rodeos. It's happening tomorrow out at Star at the High Desert Station Arena. Just follow Blessinger Lane off Highway 44 all the way to the top. It's about 2 miles. What we do is we have open competition motorcycle rodeo. It's street bikes doing stuff in the dirt. And I tell you, if you want to see some exciting motorcycle action, it's mainly Harleys that get out there. And they do skills events, and it's either wild to mild events, and they're single rider to partnered. Now, this is a family-friendly event. We have a bounce house for the little kiddies if they want to do that because they don't want to pay attention to the motorcycle racing and stuff. And this rodeo in particular, the proceeds we give to the Caldwell Veterans Memorial Hall out in Caldwell. They're doing great things for the West Valley and Caldwell military veterans, the old Carnegie Library. If you've ever been out there, Kevin, it's a beautiful place, and they're doing great things for our military veterans, as we do also. Now, I want to invite the public and anybody else that has a 750cc motorcycle or larger to come on out and get in the dirt and have some fun with us, maybe win some cash and prizes or the accolades of everybody that shows up. We have vendors and everything. We're all set up out there. Kevin, I want to see you show up in the turkey suit and get on one of these Harleys and let's ride you around the arena. Come on, a turkey on a hog, man. Can you picture that?
That'd have to be a big hog, Frank.
Well, we got all kinds of sizes, buddy, so we'll take care of it. But anyway, we're doing great things for all the veterans and local youth groups and food banks. It's all in the name of giving back. Like I say, we're all volunteers. We like to do this. It's a different kind of event. So if you haven't seen, like I said, Harley's doing crazy stuff in dirt, it's a sight to behold, I tell you. And like I say, public's welcome. And Kevin, come on, we want to see you in the turkey suit. Come on out. You and Mrs. Miller, you'd have a blast. So anyway, I appreciate your time, and come on out and help support us, help support the veterans. Let's have a good time, people. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Hold on, Frank. One more time.
Yes,
when and where for people just tuning in?
It is at the High Desert Station Arena, and it'll be tomorrow. Gates open at 10, the rodeo at 1. If you'd like all the details, you can go to rodeoimra.com or find us on Facebook, Rodeo IMRA, for daily updates, etc. But it's a good time. Come on out and help support us so we can help support the vets and the local youth groups and food banks that we donate to. So, and like I said, it's family friendly. The kids are welcome and everything. Nobody's going to leave with a Harley tattoo unless Kevin. I tell you, we really want to see you out there in that turkey suit where you can get you inked up with some cool, Born to Be Wild ink if you're into that stuff, which I know you're not. So, but anyway, you show up, buddy. I want to see you out there, Kevin. I appreciate it. Love the show, and I appreciate you letting me plug our little nonprofit event that we have going on tomorrow. So show up, people. Thank you.
You plug away anytime, Frank. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Maggie. Blessed to be with you. Coming up, Congressman Fulcher. First, Ron Paul Jim. Thanks for your patience. Good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kevin. I wanted to comment about this oil tanker attack, that's being blamed on Iran. This, to me, seems like another one of these setups, probably created by one of our allies, such as Saudi Arabia or something like that, to provoke the United States into doing something that they want us to do, which is to wipe out Iran for Saudi Arabia. And this seems to be, the same pattern of behavior that, with Syria. We were over there supposedly to, Assad's the bad guy and this and that, and he's attacking his own people, and we got to get rid of him. And then the narrative changed to ISIS. And then, but still the whole point was to go in there and wipe out, Assad. And this just seems like another one of these scenarios. This is another Nurse Naria kind of thing, where the Syrian gas attack, the yellow cake uranium, the mobile chemical weapons labs in Iraq. We've become this, this big brother of a little instigating punk that goes around and starts fights, knowing their big brother is going to show up and pound them into the ground. And, this seems to be our foreign policy. And it's dictated by the, the oligarchs, the globalists, the whatever, the same ones that are creating this manufactured crisis at the border, where they're sending in groves of people with who knows where they were financed. Obviously, George Soros, but, it seems to me this is all a manufactured thing to go after to collapse this nation and to take advantage of, an inexperienced Donald Trump as far as being a politician. And, they can get him to react. And that's what they're doing on the foreign policy. I hope he wakes up. Hello?
For the sake of argument here on KIDO Talk Radio, Ron Paul Jim, your points are duly noted. But the Iranians have been bad actors in that area for quite some time. Hezbollah, Hamas, you name it, they're responsible for a lot of death and destruction. Your reaction?
Well, so are we. Proxy wars are the same thing, aren't they? Isn't that what we do? Isn't that what our government does? Isn't that how they, go over there and take Gaddafi out? First they drum up support, like Nurse Naria. You know what that is, right?
What's that?
Nurse Naria, she was the daughter of a Qatar ambassador who was 15 years old, pretending to be a nurse, and spoke before our subcommittee, drumming up support for us to go in there and take out Saddam Hussein and go after Desert Shield, Desert Storm. That was the whole provocation that led to that. It was a big campaign. They said that they were taking babies out of incubators and leaving them to die. Does that ring a bell?
It does.
Well, that was all fake. You know that, right?
I don't know that.
Oh my God, you're kidding. This has all been set up.
But I'm talking about Iran right now. You're going back to
No, I'm talking about a pattern of behavior.
Different administrations, right?
What's that?
You're saying every administration is the same, every administration is corrupt, every administration should not be trusted?
I'm saying we are being led into doing these things, and I think Donald Trump is naive in that he's being led by foreign policy advisors from the deep state, such as like Bolton, people like that, and players like Saudi Arabia, who will go and do things and provoke us into fighting their wars for them. And I think we've been doing this when's the last time we've actually had a war where it was a threat to our own country and not some global interest? Oh. This has all been designed to, they say, vital U.S. interest. Define what that is.
Great point. Mark in Eagle with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Mark.
Boy, I back him 100%. That's exactly what I wanted to call in about there, Kevin. I think this is a manufactured hoax. And you know what? I hate to say it. I remember calling out Mike Baker on your show, and he has never called back in since the time I called him out right about the time of the elections, presidential elections, and asked him, where is our intelligence community and our CIA for supposedly protecting the invasion we've had within this country from the far left, the radicals, the socialists. And I'm sorry, but I think this is a CIA covert operation. I really do. Somebody can call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever. But, you know, when you see and you look back through history, what are the scumbags within? There are good people within the CIA, just like the FBI. But it has been discovered there are scumbags within our intelligence communities and the FBI that have done covert operations, drug running. Look at the stories about Air America back in the Vietnam War days, helping drug lords transport their drugs to be sold in other countries. I mean, yeah, that's what's been going on. I really think that either the CIA or maybe good old the British intelligence community, MI6, is somehow behind some of this stuff. And that they do work together to conduct these type of exercises to drag us into a war. The cost of that ship that just got blown up, that thing just got paid back in one day with the price of oil going up. Just overnight, it just got paid for. And I really think that we ought to look deeper into our own backyard and see what's behind. But, you know, just like Patriot Ray just said, this stuff won't come out to the American public because every president that's been in power, going back how many administrations, has been corrupted or is basically doesn't have the ability to know who really runs the show in this country, who really runs it over in Europe. Tell me something, Kevin, how in the heck, I'm reading on Drudge on a daily basis, how are 1,000 illegal aliens being allowed to come in? And I'm sorry, I'm tired of hearing about these far-left judges saying that President Trump can't do this and do that. We have people now I'm hearing coming in from the Congo, from Ebola-carrying nations, are being brought in. They're coming in over the border. They're being dumped off in different parts of the country now. And yesterday it was on Drudge, these people aren't even being checked for diseases anymore.
Thank you, Mark. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Do appreciate Mark and Ron Paul Jim calling in. Some of our other top stories of the day.
It's one of the greatest jobs I could ever have. I've loved every minute, even the hard minutes. I have loved it. I love the president. I love the team that I've had the opportunity to work for. The president is surrounded by some of the most incredible and most talented people you could ever imagine.
Sarah Sanders saying it's time to hang up the cleats, hang up the run that she's had. A great run indeed. More of your thoughts coming up. By the way, Andrew McCabe, the disgraced assistant director of the FBI, who was fired a day before he was to get his pension, says it's time for President Trump to be impeached. The president, celebrating his birthday, said recently he really questions Joe Biden's mental fitness. Earlier in the day, we were saying, are you a Ted Cruz guy? Maybe you're an Orrin Hatch guy. Maybe a Mitt Romney person where you don't take shots at people. You act more diplomatically. People love what the president's doing. Some people don't like his behavior. By the way, coming up, this state says employers can no longer ask applicants if they're criminals. Plus a salute to stepdads coming up. Max in Garden City on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. We're talking about illegal aliens and red flags, false flags to start wars. What about right here in Boise, the fact that we have just lost the Salvation Army thrift stores?
What's
Today
that?
At about 5 p.m., they shutter their doors forever.
Right. The end of the run for the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army, they're not just a church. They're a tradition in this country.
They are.
They're in cities across the nation. Now, we're not left without welfare. We still have Goodwill Industries, Deseret Industries, St. Vincent de Paul, for what it's worth, the wreckage of the youth ranch. And it's just sad to see Sally's going away.
Did you say, for what it's worth, the wreckage of the youth ranch?
The youth ranch thrift stores recently underwent a major renovation because of extreme stupidity and an attempt to corporatize a thrift store.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because the cause of the youth ranch is noble.
It is.
Their operation of the thrift stores is despicable.
Yeah.
And now we've lost Sally's. They're a tradition in every town in this country.
Sure.
And it's sad. What I would urge people to do is go to the Salvation Army thrift store on State Street. The sale is tremendous. Things are discounted like 75% or more. Go in there and buy up a bunch of stuff just to say, look, we do care. Give a darn. By the way, they will still maintain their food bank, and they will maintain their family services units. But the thrift store is going the way of all things. And that's sad. And if young Antoinette, the lady who's pretty much leading the operation there, I hope she can find a good job. She's been with them selflessly for many, many years. Oh, well, people think about it. Well, we still have it. Yeah, I know, but we don't have a Salvation Army. They're special. I can't put a finger on it. Kevin, thanks for letting me get up there and say that.
You always have a home here, Max. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, as we always proudly salute people that have made a difference. And we'll have this up on our website soon, but we live in an audio world. We live in a world where we listen. Everybody wants to be heard, yet no one wants to listen. And props to the people at Budweiser for coming up with a YouTube ad talking about for the fathers who stepped up. And this is from their YouTube site. Stepfathers embark on a difficult journey when it comes to building a relationship with their stepchildren. Although there are often ups and downs, many stepchildren grow to consider their stepfather one of the most important people in their lives. So, as we salute dads of all shapes and sizes and definitions everywhere, take a listen to men and women saluting their dads.
Mark is my technically stepdad, but really my dad.
This is my wonderful stepdad, Randy. It feels like he's been around forever.
This is my lovely stepdad of 28 years now. I should say just dad at this point.
Look at that. You would hit a little bit harder, you could have got both of them. I didn't really have like a close relationship with my actual dad, so when I met Mark, I was like, oh, this is like what a dad is.
Growing up, it was just my mom and I. I had this fantasy that my parents were going to get back together. When my mom met Randy, I just remember my mom would try to get us to act like father and daughter. I was not having it. I don't need this other person trying to come in and be my dad.
Your pole's all backwards.
Well, see? When I met Paul 28 years ago, I was a fiery little a brat.
You said it, not me. As a stepfather, you have boundaries, and the relationship it develops over time. And I just took things, day by day, and we grew as a family.
I told your mom when I first met her, I was like, I want this.
It took some time, but I suddenly saw Randy in a different light. There's this person right here that loves me and will do anything for me. And then it was like, boom, what are you doing? You have someone right there, like right in front of you.
Perfect. Thank you. It's one of those things I don't think you ask for, right? Like, you're not like, one day I'm going to be a stepfather.
Watching Victor grow, watching the person that he's become has been amazing. And to know that maybe I've had a little bit of influence on that has been awesome, yeah. I feel. Sorry.
I think she got the work ethic from me.
I do always have a job and pay my bills and...
Except your phone bill.
Well, I think parents should always keep you on their phone bill.
I do too, because that way I know she'll call us.
That's true. Yeah.
This is kind of a part of this that you didn't really know. I wanted to actually ask you to, legally adopt me, because I've been using your last name anyways. If you could just, actually, legally adopt me, I think would be, kind of just, a beautiful ceremonial thing, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think it would be...
So how do you envision your wedding?
Mainly, I want you to be the one to walk me down the aisle. But more than that, I was wondering if you'd adopt me and become my dad for real.
Everything that my biological father promised that he would do, you actually came through and did. I just wanted to ask you if you would like to adopt me as yours.
Love you.
Does your mom know about this?
I feel like I'm making up for something that I never had.
It feels like I had this family all along and I didn't see that I had it.
To me, he's always been my father.
And there you have it. I love this. This Father's Day, share your story about a father that stepped up. By the way, that is Budweiser for fathers who stepped up. And really, it talks about stepdads, but everybody. Maybe an uncle, maybe a neighbor, maybe a coach. In our society today, we glamorize athletes and talk about the pain and the frustration that they go through. But I can imagine being a parent is not only very beneficial, but the pain a parent goes through. A pain that a mom or a dad goes through when they don't get to do the special things. They miss out on things because of the greater good, the greater mission of providing a home. You don't get the Larry O'Brien trophy for paying the mortgage every month. I wish that were the case. Or the fancy people on SportsCenter talking about you. But really, that's what it's about. And if we accomplish anything together in our time here on God's green earth, on this radio station, is to reinforce those values that have come under siege. More on that in a minute. 8:57 is our time. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Dave. And I'm Kevin Miller in the morning, wishing all dads a happy, safe Father's Day. Whether you're here, whether you're working somewhere else, and you're listening on our KIDO Talk Radio app, know that your sacrifices will pay off. And the beauty of being a father is you see the future right before you, right? The moral compass, the backbone of making a difference. You continue to make a difference day in and day out. When you talk about being a dad, I think one of the first things you realize is that it ain't about you anymore. We need a lot of people about that, right? That say it ain't about me, it's about my kids. God bless all the dads. Ray Amaya, great dad himself. Thank you very much for a wonderful program. God bless everybody. Stay tuned. Glenn Beck is next. KIDO Talk Radio.